Hello everyone and welcome back to another Wizard101 video. Today, I was debating whether a few things to record a video on today, but I ultimately decided on this. Now I know what you're thinking. You're looking at the title and there's two things screaming at you. One, no, this is boring. Why are you recording this? And two, you're saying, nerd! And you know, I feel both of those on a fundamental level, but nonetheless, I'm going to continue with this video and make it anyway. So this is how mental math helped me dominate Wizard101. Now you may be wondering, what could you possibly mean by that? Like, no, you've said some crazy things in the past, but this is getting pretty up there in terms of crazy. Well, what I mean by this is that over time from playing Wizard101, I've developed a keen sense of mental math in regards to how much damage I do. Now, you may be wondering how this is helpful. This is helpful in a lot of ways. To me, it's specifically helpful in knowing your own limits and knowing the enemy's limits. So what I mean by this is that when I'm in Avalon, right, say, I know exactly how many blades and traps I need to use to kill a boss, just purely based on mental instinct, compared to a boss in, say, Chrysalis. And this gets very useful when knowing how much damage I need to do. Now, if you've ever watched my Balanced Let's Play series, which I don't know if you want to, but, you know, I remember so many times. I mean, the amount of times it happened is actually funny. You guys will probably, if you've ever watched it, you'll see, or if you watch in the future, you'll see, is there's, every time I hit, I say, okay, this is going to do this much damage. Now, I'd say at the start of that Let's Play series, I was less good at it than I was towards the end of it. But I remember there was this one time, I think this was actually the Storm Let's Play series, which you might not even know that exists, but it does. Surprise. Storm Let's Play series in Dragonspire, there was this one episode where I'm like, this is going to do 3,000 damage. It did exactly 3,000 damage, and I went, whoa, that's kind of PogChamp. Now, the reason why this is helpful is it makes it so that you're more confident. Now, I'm going to tell you how to do it now instead of just going over the reasons why you can do it. It's really, really easy. It may seem complicated at first, but it's just some quick mental math. Well, the first thing you want to do is know how much damage is on the card. So, for example, a lot of times you're going to be using, say you're early game and you're using a tier 4 card like Meteor Strike, really. So you're going to be doing about 300 to 500 damage base with that, plus your base damage. This is where the first damage calculation comes in, and realistically you can just kind of find what your base gonna do with one of these spells, and then that's in your head forever. So for example, my fire, right? Say you enchant a Meteor Strike, it's gonna do about 600, and then plus 162%, which is sorry, it's way too early for me to calculate this correctly. It would be like 1800, right? Yeah, it would be like 1800, give or take a little bit. And then from there, you can calculate your crit and your crit damage, which, I mean, realistically, you can just do that by hovering over the spell. It will say how much you would crit for. But, you know, it's going to be somewhere between 1.25 and 2 times the number, which is going to mean that my Meteor Strike will do from like 2.5k to 3.6k, somewhere in there. Now, you can see, even when I'm exhausted, very tired, I can quick mental math, do an estimate of how much damage that will do. That could be very useful when you're questing with friends, knowing how many spells you need to use, knowing how much blades you could use, but it's also really important when soloing. I think soloing is the best example of that, because my balance, for example, in the Balanced Let's Play series, every round counted, because right, I had to feint multiple times, I had to blade multiple times, and if I waited too long to hit, it was very likely that I'd die. So, it was very useful for me to do something like, you know, look at how much damage I was doing, especially with blades and feints, so that I can know if I'm going to be able to kill or not, and when I'm going to be able to kill, because not killing is almost just as bad as dying before you can kill, if that makes sense, right? It's hitting before you're ready. So you don't want to do that. Now I'm going to assist you with something that I feel like not a lot of people understand, so we're going to go over it right now. So, for blade and feint calculations, it's incredibly important to note that it goes based on a... it goes one at a time, if that makes sense. So, for example, if the enemy has two feints on them, like a plus 70 and a plus 75, it doesn't go plus 145. It adds plus 70% to the initial value, then plus another 75% of that number to that. So what this means is that I've seen some people say in the comments in the past, it means it's about an 180% multiplier instead of that or something like that. But that's besides the point. The numbers don't really matter. Basically, it's incredibly important to note that when you're calculating in your head, you do that. Also, weaknesses work the same way. So right there you saw the meteor strike had a plus 45 on it. It did a plus 45 to the total amount of damage that would do, and then minus 25 subtracted 25% of that additional 45% number, right? And this is really important for understanding how this game works and understanding exactly how weaknesses work, how feints work, how blades work. It means that it's more effective to stack than if it was all just one collective number. If it was one collective number, I think it would be a bit less effective. I think that's how it would work. So really, that's all I wanted to go over today. I'm sorry if this video was boring, but it's a topic I find very interesting. I hate math, and I find it interesting just because I really like calculating the numbers before I do it. So I think that if you just try it sometime, you'll find that you start doing it naturally. It's just like a natural inclination that you have to calculate the numbers and say, this is going to do about this much damage. And even if you don't calculate it like a firm number in your head, like obviously you're estimating. I'm not saying, okay, this is going to do 3,576 damage. No, I'm like, okay, this is going to do about 3,500 damage, give or take a bit, right? And it's really helpful to know that number. So before I go, I'm going to leave you with one thing. In the comments, or not the comments, why am I saying comments? In the description below, I am going to leave a website. This website is a website that allows you to calculate the damage if you're too lazy to do it mentally. Why is it so huge? Can I zoom out on that? No, that doesn't work. Okay, let me do this. Ooh, there we go. And we'll do that, and then we'll do that. There you go. Perfect. So this website is pretty useful if you want to do it like if you want a more firm number and you don't want to do it in your head. So for example, my fire has 162 damage. The card is Meteor Strike, so it's going to do about 600. I'm not going to look at the exact number. I'm just going to fudge it there. And then say I had a plus 45 blade on me, and then a plus 35 blade on me. The enemy had a plus 70 feint and a plus 75 feint. And then I can go calculated, and you can see there, that's about how much damage I would do, give or take a bit, which is pretty useful. You can see it didn't take that much time at all. Took maybe about 15 seconds to enter all that information, and around last 30. So obviously you have plenty of time throughout the battle to calculate this if you want to. You know, personally, I wouldn't use this because I do it mentally anyway, but it's how you do it. So that's it for today's video. I'm surprised I got this to 10 minutes. God, I rambled a lot. I'm sorry if this was boring. If it wasn't, though, drop a like, hit the sub button. This is early in the morning. Way earlier than I'm used to. It's like 9 in the morning right now. But I had to wake up. So I'm here now, recording a video for all of you. So yeah. See you in the next video. Have a fantastic day. Thank you all for watching.